Alright, hey guys. As you can see, I decided to do my risk management video project on Miller Fields, the intramural fields over here at NC State, besides Carmichael Gym. It just came in the entrance that is off of Morrill Drive, around Cates Avenue, which is right next to the gym over here. So you can see I'm just kind of walking down these fields. Fields aren't very busy right now at this time of day. There aren't any intramural games going on currently, but there's plenty of people kind of out here on their own doing their thing. Got one guy who's been over here playing some disc golf. You can see there's a tire that you can flip as well. A little bit of a batting cage back there and a couple goals around here. One thing I did notice, especially in the exterior of the fields, is a lot of drains and grates and types of things that I would say are definitely a notable risk in terms of tripping or just somebody not being aware of it. You could definitely have some twisted ankles, things like that happening over there. Got a pretty tall fence kind of to keep people from coming in on unauthorized times. Certainly you could jump that fence if you really wanted to. There's some gaps down here where you could definitely crawl in if somebody really wanted to get in here. One thing to notice is that this is a good thing. This gate here that's covering this electrical box area is padded. Really isn't a lot of consistency with padding down the edges of the gates, so that's one thing of concern, I would say. But this is what you should be seeing. So we walk down, further down the length of the fields, trash cans. Here's another entrance, not a main entrance, but it's over leading to the tennis courts over there. This is gate 3. So, a lot of open space out here. One thing that I would say is the biggest hazard of Miller Fields is just the lack of supervision. At least from my perspective, it doesn't seem like there's really anybody that's specifically set over here to supervise activity. There's a lot of different activities out here that could really pose a lot of risk. Contact sports such as soccer going on unsupervised, so got another grate there. But yeah, definitely some risk involved with having college-age students playing sports without anybody kind of checking in. I would hope that they have somebody from University Recreation popping in, like a gym soup, somebody like that. Got a padded light pole, so that's good to see. All these light posts out here do have substantial padding on them. One thing to notice, especially over here with all the soccer goals, is these goals aren't anchored or weighed down. Which isn't necessarily a huge problem if people are playing soccer the way that it should be played, but it does pose a risk of students who are a little rowdier than the average, who want to maybe jump up and hang from the crossbar. That goal could tip over fairly easily if somebody isn't using it in accordance to the way that it was designed. So that could be a potential risk of that. Again, it'd be hard to maintain having stationary goals because there's so many different sports played out here. So I understand the mentality behind not anchoring those down permanently. Alright, so over here at this gate, I don't know if you could really see, there's a fairly big drop off. There's a little creek down there. So if somebody were to go kind of exploring beyond the limits of this gate, it could be a pretty big problem. Luckily, they've got it fenced off a little bit, and people should use good judgment not to go down there, given those structures. All right, so we're approaching the main entrance off of Dan Allen. As you can see, it's marked Gate 4, ta-da! Alright, so here we got on the exterior rules and guidelines. So it says you must have a valid NC State ID or be registered as a guest. It's pretty vague in terms of explicit rules. Does mention inclement weather and risks involved with that, but the university should shut down in case of that. There at the very bottom says participate at your own risk. So that's really a sort of a catch-all in terms of issues that might happen while on the field. So, I mean, as far as it goes, I'd say that Miller Fields are a fairly safe environment as long as people are following prudent practices in terms of working out unsupervised or with, a few friends. Hopefully people bring a buddy out here, especially if they're running laps, which is a pretty common activity for students to do, is just come out and run laps around all the fields. I'd say it's probably pretty rare that there would be only one person out here in total, but you never know. One final area of concern, I would say, is the very back corner, close to where I began recording. I'll get closer in a minute. There's a outdoor exercise playground sort of structure, freestanding. There's a rope ladder, monkey bars, a lot of structures that one can work out on outdoors, similar to like TRX sort of activities. If somebody is unfamiliar with these, they may not know the correct way to operate this equipment, which could pose a pretty large threat. So here's a closer view of the outdoor playground. You can see the guidelines are posted right over there. I'll include an up-close photo of that listing. Another thing to mention is the outdoor equipment that's stored in the back left corner of the field. A little bit of a hazard there. But generally it seems like people leave those be. Not a whole lot of use for kayaks on Miller Field. So, other things to notice, I've got a trailer in the back, kind of just loose. Pushed out of the way, but could potentially be an issue if people decided to get a little rowdy. Other than that, that kind of covers the main points of Miller Field.